said to you, listen, I just have to get all my ducks in a row, right? And then you said to me,
I can be a duck.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the greatest and most lovable moments of our favorite crime-solving team.
I just feel like, this is going somewhere.
Why did you feel like this is going somewhere?
Number 10, guy hugs. There may have been hugs between these two throughout their working and personal relationship, but no hug rings quite as true as this one. And no matter what Booth or Brennan says, it's not just a guy hug.
I thought you'd mention it. I mean, isn't that what partners do? Tell each other about their lives?
This particular hug comes at the end of The Headless Witch in the Woods. When Brennan ends up going on a date with a literal murderer, she laments her terrible taste in men to Booth at the end of the episode.
I can read bones, not people.
No, you had no trouble seeing through me.
When she remarks that maybe it's okay because she likes to be alone, Booth steps in. He tells her that she's not alone and gives her a big old hug.
You're my partner. Hey, it's a guy hug. Take it. Right.
Number 9, it's just evidence.
Okay. I have to remove your clothing now.
Why?
Well, there may be particulates.
Particulates.
Brennan might have trouble reading people sometimes, and she might be a little awkward in social situations. But we're choosing to believe she knew exactly what she was doing with this one.
I can take my own
No,
shirt
don't. You'll compromise the evidence.
Right.
Booth ends up with human remains on him after chasing a bank robbery suspect who explodes into a million pieces. Yikes. When Booth gets to the lab, Brennan begins promptly undressing him because, as she puts it, he has evidence on him. Cam gets a big kick out of this, as do we. Sure, Brennan. It was definitely all about evidence.
Just evidence, that's all.
Interesting.
Listen, Bones, I really gotta go question the other eyewitness, so...
Number 8, Mistletoe. While this might not be the first time Booth and Brennan kissed in the timeline of the show, more on that later, it was the first time the audience ever got to see them lock lips.
I was going to talk to you about this. Caroline wants us to kiss under the mistletoe.
What?
It's the only way she'll make Christmas for my family.
Well, by having us kiss?
Yes,
Why?
because she's feeling puckish.
It's Christmas at the lab, and while there still might be crimes to solve, the team has more than enough time for some holiday cheer. When Booth and Brennan inadvertently find themselves under the mistletoe together, Caroline won't let them leave until they smooch.
Well, look at that. Mistletoe. You take a step to your right and be right under the cute little spread.
They do, and the chemistry is palpable. It was at this moment that we learned Caroline was as much a shipper as the rest of us.
Is that enough steamboats?
Plenty. A whole flotilla.
Number 7, that's a lot of heart, Bones. Families can be difficult, but it doesn't get much worse than your father being on trial for the murder of the director of the FBI.
I'm ashamed of a lot of things I did in my life. But in this case, my conscience is clear.
That's not the same as being innocent.
During the trial of Brennan's father, Max Keenan, everyone at the Jeffersonian except Bones herself is called to the stand as an expert witness. Throughout the episode, Brennan insists to everyone she's fine and plans to prove her father's innocence. That's all fine and dandy until Booth discovers that in order to do so, she plans to implicate herself.
We can't talk about this.
Please, you're the person they talk to about things like this.
No perjury involved. Just an interpretation of existing facts.
He is touched by her tenacity and love for her father, and helps to present her alternate version of the facts. It was a risky move, but the trust these two place in each other is truly something special.
You gonna charge her?
You gotta go back to school on this one. That's a fine woman there.
Number 6, stuck in an elevator. Is there anything better than two characters who desperately need to talk to each other but won't, getting stuck in an elevator together? We don't think so. And in season 6, Bones played this situation perfectly.
I'm merely demonstrating that the widest part of me is narrower than the widest part of Booth, see?
All right.
Wow. Okay. Comparing body parts, what else do you do during a blizzard, right?
Before the blackout and the blizzard, Booth and Brennan are both dealing with the fallout of their complicated relationship bubbling to the surface. They have a couple of serious conversations, and by the end of the episode, Brendan suggests to Booth that she might eventually be ready for him.
A time could come when you aren't angry anymore, and I'm strong enough to risk losing the last of my imperviousness. Maybe then we could try to be together.
They decide to both separately pick a date where they might be ready to try again. Things look bright on the horizon.
I always assumed that we'd be very compatible, didn't you?
Well, yeah.
Number 5, the wedding.
How is it possible that simply looking into your fine face gives me so much joy? Why does it make me so happy that every time I try to sneak a peek at you, you're already looking at me?
Everyone loves a good wedding. And by the time season 9 of Bones had rolled around, we had waited long enough. Booth and Brennan's wedding may have not been a traditional one, but that made perfect sense for our favorite crime-solving romantics.
Chasing each other through wars and serial killers and ghosts and snakes and... Now, chasing you has been the smartest thing that I have ever done in my life.
Their vows were delightful, particularly Brennan's choice of an old letter that she had written to Booth years earlier while buried alive. Plus, they got married to the music of Cyndi Lauper. When it comes to these two lovebirds, there was literally nothing else we could have asked for after all these years. This wedding gets us every time.
We caught each other.
We didn't bring enough Kleenex.
Number 4, buried alive.
You have a lot of faith in Booth.
No. Faith is an irrational belief in something that is logically impossible. Over time, I've seen what Booth can do.
Being buried alive might not sound particularly romantic, but the episode in which this indeed happens plays a large role in developing Brennan and Booth's relationship. Not only did this episode mark the first appearance of the infamous gravedigger, it showed us that the way these two care about each other is past professionalism.
You're forgetting something. Brennan and Hodgins are out of air.
Right, you want to give up, huh? This is Bones we're talking about, and Hodgins. I really think they didn't find a way to extend the air supply. Hell, found a way to send us a message, ask us for help, and you want to give up because of math.
This is the moment where Brennan writes the letter she'll end up reading to Booth in their vows years later. And the moment that the team finds her and Hodgkins just in time is one of the best reunions in TV history.
I knew you wouldn't give up.
I knew you wouldn't give up.
Number 3, missed chances. Throughout the series, Brennan is never anything less than a complex rich character. Her particular combination of emotionality, repressed trauma, and guardedness all came to a head in Season 6's The Doctor and the Photo.
I got the signal, Booth. I don't want to have any regrets.
The murder victim in this particular episode is a doctor whose behavior is shaped by the sadness in her everyday work and her tendency to guard her heart. If listening to that made you think that sounds a lot like Brennan, you're not the only one.
And look, she is me.
Yeah, I see.
You do? Because Booth didn't.
Brennan saw a lot of herself in this victim. At the end of the episode, that realization results in a tearful confession to Booth that she's afraid she missed her chance with him. It's heartbreaking, and Emily Deschanel plays it wonderfully.
Do you want me to call someone to be with you, or?
No, I'm fine. Alone. Thanks.
Number 2, the dream.
In the darkest moments before dawn, a woman returns to her bed. What life is she leading?
Real Bones fans will never forget where they were when this episode began airing. Brennan walks into a room and climbs into bed with none other than Booth? And they kiss? Everyone was shocked and had no idea where this episode was going.
What's going on?
Wow, there's my robe.
As it turns out, the episode was a dream sequence running through the mind of Booth while he was in a coma. He imagined he and Brennan as the owners of a nightclub where a murder took place. So the kissing and snuggling in bed might not have been real, but we'll never forget those first few moments of hope.
You see two people, and you think they belong together, but nothing happens.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Fake Out. Next time Booth dies, he better make sure to tell Brennan first.
Do you want me to find out why you weren't told?
If it's important to you.
Fine. I will. Next time I die, I promise that I will tell you.
I'll look forward to that.
Airport goodbye. An airport goodbye with no catharsis.
1 year from today, we meet at the reflecting pool on the mall. Right by the...
Coffee cart.
I know. 1 year from today.
Tony and Roxy. We need more Tony and Roxy in our lives.
How does anyone actually walk in these things?
Well, you know, them boots, they ain't made for walking, sweetheart.
That was completely over the top.
All right, you know, you play your part and I'll play mine.
Pregnancy announcement. The look on Booth's face is everything.
I'm pregnant. You're the father.
Slow dance. A slow dance for the ages.
It's just a dance. It's your reunion. Okay, let's do it. Let's dance. Yeah, come on.
Oh. Why are you so far away?
You know, just keep room for the Holy Spirit, that's all.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. The real first kiss. For so long, we thought the first time Brennan and Booth had kissed was that sweetly awkward moment under the mistletoe. But in the parts in the sum of the whole, we learned just how wrong we were.
You kissed.
Yes.
There was tongue contact.
In this episode, we find out that Bones and Booth worked together once before the pilot episode. And what's more, they kissed and almost hooked up.
We are not spending the night together.
Of course we aren't. Why?
Tequila.
The implications of this knowledge are tenfold. Sweets' reaction to it actually causes Booth to try his hand at romance with Bones one more time.
I knew. Right from the beginning.
Your evidence is anecdotal.
I'm that guy. Bones, I'm that guy. I know.
It doesn't work, leading to a long road back to normal for our favorite partners. But it's still one of their most palpably tense and romantic episodes. If we missed any of your favorite Brennan and Booth moments, let us know in the comments below.
Should we tell him?
Yes! Yes, you should.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.